found this one school called Santa Fe University of Art and Design. I was like, this sounds like up my alley, because I had moved already and it didn't really bother me. I was really fine with just moving out there. It was a big deal for my mom though. She really wanted me to go somewhere in-state. Not only because, you know, in-state tuition is a lot cheaper than like out-of-state, but just so that I could be closer. Because, you know, I did a lot of responsible things as a kid. I feel like I grew up a little faster than normal. And I was like a really good support system for my mom. So she was really hoping that I would stay in state. And a part of me really wanted to stay too for that reason. It's because I didn't want to like leave her, and I knew that my sister was gonna leave shortly after me and it was just gonna be her and my brother. But at the same time I knew that I can't just stay saddled to a place because I'm scared to leave my mom or my dad, and that would hold me back. So I applied for the school, and little did I know that that school would be the greatest thing in the world, but also something that I would describe as a dumpster fire. So I did go there. We moved all of my stuff in my car, literally packed to the brim. I couldn't see through the back window, which is terrible. If you've ever driven through Texas and you can't see through any of your windows, I pray for you. But the drive was like little to no problem for me. And when we finally made it to Santa Fe, we realized that there was no elevators. So we had to carry all of my stuff up 3 floors to my dorm. We walked in and we started putting everything together, and my dad met us there. And I felt really confident. And we had our first like luncheon together. You know, my mom stayed, and we kind of like walked through and like met our dorm mates and like everything. And I felt really alone again because I left everybody that I knew in Louisiana, and now I was in a new place and I didn't know anyone. So after my mom left, I was really in this position where I kind of just said hi to my dorm mates whenever they were there, but other than that, I didn't talk to anyone. I ate lunch by myself and dinner by myself, and then I noticed that I was in class with the same boy, almost every single class that I had. And we sat next to each other quite a bit, and his name was Benjamin. And we ended up being partnered up an awful lot, or like just becoming partners because we sat next to each other and we made small talk in class. So the easiest thing to do was start talking to him. And then we realized that we both had another guy that was in class that we knew was in another one of our classes. So we kind of made friends with him, and we all decided to eat lunch together. And he invited one of his friends, which was a girl from my own dorm hall. And then there was another girl that was friends with her that lives a couple floors down from us. And that was like the first beginning of like our little group. That's like only like 4 other people besides me, but it grew to about 12 people. And that's a lot. That's a lot for me because my friend group in Louisiana was close-knit and it was 3 people, and that's including me. So it was 2 people. So suddenly having like this big friend group that grew just like occasionally through, you know, shared classes or going on grocery trips and like eating dinner with them was crazy to me. I met some of my best friends through a dorm room party where like most of the people threw up. And we became super close-knit. We pretty much became a clique at school because we met each other and we stayed with each other until the very end. And because we could just talk normally and super comfortably with each other, it was the hardest thing in the world to say goodbye to them. And I said goodbye to them because we got an email that said that our school was going to shut down. And everybody went absolutely insane, and everybody was crying. People that we had class with wouldn't show up to class, and you'd find out that they had been shut away for the entire week from their friends. Like, this school was super small. Everybody knew everyone. And everyone knew that everyone was pretty much suffering. The teachers were having breakdowns. It was a mess. And our group was a mess. We would literally get together every night and cry. The first night that we found out, we all went to Denny's and just sat there. And it was like the worst thing in the world. It was like feeling like the world was on fire, but you're like kind of trapped in like this glass cage and you can't move, can't do anything about it. It was the worst thing ever. Around that time, I had started dating John, and I felt a connection with him that I hadn't felt with anybody else. And then I found out that the school was closing, and my entire world crashed to the ground. I had made friends with that felt like family, and I had a boyfriend that felt like my entire world, and I was gonna lose them. For the first couple weeks, everyone went crazy, and you know, we were sad and we drank and we like went out and did things together because we knew that we were gonna lose each other. And you know, once you move on from school and everybody goes back to their like places, it's very hard to keep in contact with people. So we did the best we could to be positive, and we kind of succeeded. We did a lot of late night like barbecues, and we watched movies together and went out and like went to this place called Meow Wolf. There was also stuff that was crazy happening like at the school. Like someone burnt down a set, the Manhattan set that was, you know, on our campus near like some abandoned buildings. And then we got a whole bunch of word that people were like breaking into the theater department and stealing costumes, and you know, things were going missing from like the film lounge and a bunch of stuff. And I could talk a whole bunch about the specifics of, you know, the actual, you know, breakdown of school, but I can't do that just because of like the things that happened. Like I legally can't talk about it. So I'm just gonna say that it was one of the worst endings ever. But you know, Santa Fe to me, it felt more like a summer vacation almost. For like a year or two, it felt like a summer vacation. We still talk to each other. It's harder now, of course, but what can you do when most of them across the country or even in Europe, it's very hard, but there's not much you can do. I'm still in really good contact with a couple of them, like my friends Leah and Caleb. They actually live in LA right now, so when we move out there, I'm probably gonna visit them every day. They cannot stop me. Especially Leah, because she's like one of my BFFs. She was one of the people that I leaned on the most in Santa Fe, and when it finally ended, we decided that we would still stay in contact, and we did. And with John, we actually decided that we weren't gonna talk anymore after the school, you know, left. So we cleaned out like everything. We said, you know, we can't date long distance, whatever. We can talk like friends, but let's not like talk like we're dating. And we did not follow that rule. Like literally 2 weeks after we set that rule, we couldn't stop FaceTiming each other, that we just decided that we were just gonna date and deal with it. So that's what we did. And now we're dating and living together, so. But anyways, besides that, he decided that he wanted to go to school in Chicago. So he transferred to Columbia College here in Chicago, and I decided that I was gonna, you know, try to transfer as well. And I transferred to UNO, which is in New Orleans, and it didn't work out for me. I felt like I was wasting my time. I was doing everything that I had already done. I had to redo my freshman year. I was making friends, but not friends that I wanted to keep. They just didn't feel like the friends that I made in Santa Fe. And I really missed John. And I felt like I could make a career out of, you know, film work without a degree. So I decided to drop out, which, you know, my mom and dad, they really were pushing me for, you know, to get a degree or to finish college. And I couldn't do that. This is not saying that I wouldn't ever go back. I probably will go back and get a degree in something, probably marketing. I felt like I was wasting my time, definitely. I felt like I could be doing better things without having to worry about, you know, a retail job that could replace me the second that I quit, or worrying about school that would penalize me from going to work. This is not bashing on UNO, because, you know, plenty of people have gone there and come out successful, but for me it didn't work. And I wasted my time there for a year. After explaining my plan with my mom, which was to go to Chicago and live with John and get a job here and work on film work and save up, she was okay with it. My dad said you'd lose your flight privileges because he works for Southwest, and I was like, I don't care, I'll just pay for flights. And he was okay with it too, just as long as I, like, you know, took responsibility for it. They warned me about everything, that I would probably not get a job as easy as, you know, someone with a degree, and I was like, I don't care. I wanted to be happy, and so that's what I did. I moved to Chicago So much moving, I know. And that's where I've been. And I've been working as a nanny, and I just got started as in JCMTM, which is a modeling and acting class. It's been great. I decided that I wanted to actually be in front of the camera rather than behind it, or, you know, like editing it, because I could, you know, be whatever I wanted to be. It helped me not be as awkward. And it's something that I can be passionate about, you know, forever. There's so many opportunities to go out and do what you want to. It's exactly what I'm doing. And you know the rest, that I'm moving to California in August. And that's pretty soon. So you'll start seeing me vlogging about moving and packing. And of course, you know, the struggles with having to move your life across the country. So look forward to that. And I hope you guys enjoyed me talking about my life. If you want to have like a separate video about anything that I said in this like little rant of mine, then I totally will. Just leave it down in the comments. I hope you all enjoyed that. Please leave a like, comment. Be sure to subscribe and tell your friends. Bye.